protect each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings. Let's make sure we protect each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings pour in. We are a loving family, built on love. Our vibrations are high, we're all the way up. We are a loving family, built on love. Our vibrations are high, we're all the way up. We are the Alice family. 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 We are a loving family, built on love. Our vibrations are high, we're all the way up. We are a loving family, built on love. Our vibrations are high, we're all the way up. We are a loving family, built on love. Our vibrations are high, we're all the way up. We are a loving family, built on love. Our vibrations are high, we're all the way up. We are the Alice family. 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 We are the Atlas 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 family. There's so much we need to know, as above and so below. Add up 1 + 1, get 3. Inside you a galaxy, hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, 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 I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, 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 hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, 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 I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. Now I know the law of one, and what's power in the sun. We're made up of liquid gold. Wise will make your mind unfold. Hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, oh, oh. I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, oh, oh. Hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, oh, oh. I'm hanging with Mr. Wise.
Any coffee in there? You say yeah?
Hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, oh, oh. I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, oh, oh. Hanging with Mr. Wise. Oh, oh, oh. I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. Ralph the Wise. I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. Ralph the Wise. I'm hanging with Mr. Wise. Ralph the Wise.
Grand Rising Namaste, Ashe, Salutations, Shalom, Peace. I hope everyone's having a great evening, a grand evening. I hope everyone's doing great out there. I want to talk about cherubs, cherubins, these things that are missing in the Jewish text. Wing depicted creatures who have, usually attributes of animals, so on and so forth, right? um there's a reason why you have these different layers right here of heaven, right? The different layers of heaven. You see the different age groups and people, and then up here you have pretty much babies and old people. When you have this old person right here, right? Right here you have some elder people, whatever the case may be. But this is the biblical text of, one must be like an infant in order to get into the kingdom of heaven, so on and so forth. So you got this, as above, so below sign right here that they're doing, resembling the as above, so below. They show you like a goat or a ram doing this sign right here, this particular sign. But before we get into this, before we get into all of this, and you can see the person right here bearing the cross in this life, he's bearing his cross right here. In this life, he's bearing the cross. This is the same person in many different lives, many different, you know, lives of themselves, however you want to look at it. But we'll get into that in a minute. Um, in order to understand, you got to go back further than Egyptian mythology. You got to go back further in some of these books to get a grander understanding of what is, always was, and always will be. And you have to go back to the root races, the races that was planted in the vessels of mankind. And these energies came out of the land of Lumeria, which is also known as the land of Mu. It is preferably up under Hawaii and Maui and all of that stuff. So up under there is a story that is supposed to be told. And they mix that story up in movies like Moana and stuff like that, where she has to swim to the bottom of the ocean and touch a long lost island or an island that was lost, so on and so forth. And the spirit of Gaia, which is the earth's consciousness, they put it in a lot of different movies and cartoons and stuff like that. But this is the story of the land of Mu that is up under Hawaii and stuff like that. And then you have the Atlanteans, which was Poseidon Island. Now, one's in the chat. You guys want to go into Poseidon Island, Plato's Atlas, all of that stuff. Let me know. And when you're talking about like the seraphims and everything like that, the cherubims, these are things that are mentioned in the spiritual part of the text. The spiritual part of, spirituality, however you want to look at this. This is when you get into the cherubims and the four living creatures and all of that stuff. Okay. When you get into all of this stuff, this is when you're surpassing the depths of things, right? When you're digging into the depths of things. This is the seraphims, um, cherubs and cherubs, right? This is what you're talking about when you're talking about cherubs and cherubs, right? So just to give y'all a grand idea of what we're going to be, uh,
When most people think of cherubs, they'll
on.
think of pudgy little baby-like creatures, with 2 little wings, who are rather cute. However, that's not how the Bible describes them.
Like Cupid.
Cherubs, the correct plural is cherubim, are described in 2 books of the Bible, Genesis and Ezekiel, a Jewish prophet. In Genesis they guard the Garden of Eden, following Adam and Eve's banishment from the garden, and are described holding flaming swords too. The prophet Ezekiel has a vivid vision of heaven where he sees many angelic beings. His description of the cherubim is
Can you guys
powerful,
hear it?
almost frightening. 3. Not your average cute little angel. These are powerful heavenly beings with 4 faces and 4 wings. The cherubim are also described in the construction of the Ark of the Covenant. Yes, the one out of the Indiana Jones film. The Ark was the dwelling place of God with the Israelites during their exodus in the desert. 4. The Ark was placed in the Jewish temple, when it was built in Jerusalem. The holy part of the temple, where the Ark was placed and where the highest altar was located, also featured statues of cherubim. 5. In Ezekiel's vision he also describes another type of angelic beings, known as living creatures, that seem to be associated with the cherubim. Their description is even more strange, to our eyes. 6. Certainly an amazing scene. Ezekiel's vision might seem strange, it might well be that human eyes and senses just can't properly describe the wonder of heaven. The Bible doesn't say how many cherubim there are, but we're told that Ezekiel saw 4, and there may be more than that. Their role is to guard God's holy domain and presence from any sin and corruption. They are sometimes known as the throne angels as they are seen to be around the throne of God. 7. In Jewish folklore the throne angels are known as Merkaba. Having 4 faces on 4 sides of their heads and being arranged in a square, they can travel in any direction without having to turn. The word cherub may come from a term, to guard, which would fit well with their role. Nowhere in the Bible are the cherubim directly called angels. So far from being cute, cuddly creatures, the cherubim are the mighty and powerful guardians of God.
So that's talking about the cherubims, right? And if we want to get into the 4 living creatures, this is when you get into the book of Revelations, the beast that once was, that will return again, right? This is when you get into the 4 creatures and the energies that play upon the 4 creatures of this plane. Man is one of the 4 beasts, one of the 4 creatures.
In the final book of the Bible, Revelation, there's a description of 4 living creatures. 8 in addition to a description of the living creatures in Ezekiel. These amazing creatures have features in common with both the seraphim, in having 6 wings and continually praising God, and like the cherubim, that they number 4, are covered in eyes and look like a lion, ox, man and eagle. Whether these creatures are seraphim, cherubim or another sort of angelic/heavenly being, we simply don't know. But they are certainly amazing and very powerful.
Right there, right? The lion, the ox, the man, and the eagle, right? So we're in that list of the 4 living creatures. We're in that list. So The book of Revelations is speaking about us because it's speaking about the four living creatures, right? So when we get into this, we can get into, Lucifer, Satan, all of that stuff, the different stories of that. Satan was also called dragon. I'll let them read it.
So Satan is called a dragon, someone who leads the world astray, the accuser, the lord of filth, a liar and the father of lies, a roaring lion looking for someone to eat, the prince of this world and the god of this age. Those last two might sound a bit strange, and even good, but this is not the case. The prince of this world means someone trying to rule with his own bad rules and ideas, but he's not the king, that's God. The god of this age, notice the small g, doesn't mean that Satan is a deity, just a leader of a group of things. The true God, capital G, is the real ruler of the whole universe. So whatever he's called, Satan/the devil sounds exceedingly unpleasant, and he is. He not only hates God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, but also you and me, and will try anything he can to stop us knowing how much God loves us. He even tried to tempt Jesus, the Son of God, into following him 5. So Satan lost that battle, and he, and his evil angelic followers, have also lost the overall battle for the universe. Satan thought he had won when he thought he'd managed to get Jesus killed. But he was very wrong. Jesus came back to live and defeated the power of death, and Satan, forever. Although Satan knows he's lost, he still tries to stop people knowing about God and Jesus. Satan also knows his final fate and destination, and it's not a pleasant one, for him and his followers at any rate. 6.
And you're watching that play out right now, right? If you notice, it didn't say that Satan unalived Jesus, right? It said that he tried to get him unalived, right? That means the energy of Lucifer will always stalk the energy of Christ, right? That means these two energies are in a forever battle. That means the energy that is Luciferian, Satan, the devil, will always try to get you to corrupt your vessel so you will not become a Christ-like being, right? Satan is always going to get you to do something that is low vibrational, get you to act out, so on and so forth. This is why Christ took his, if you look at Mary Magdalene as one of the lower chakras, this is why Christ took his sins with him. The energy that is Luciferian energy, satanic energy, it will always go against those who are moving in righteousness. It will always go against those who are trying to teach unity. It will always go against those who are trying to teach love. And it doesn't matter what vessel this energy appears to you in. It will always do what Luciferian energy is meant to do, which is go against those who are representing or in the operation of Christ-like energy, which is the operation of a oneness with universal knowledge. The same thing I know, you should know. The things that we know, everyone should know. Why would someone who deemed that they love us tell us to know stuff? That don't even make sense. But let's get back into the energies that came out of the land of Lumeria and the land of Atlantis, right? If you notice the map, you see the direction of this. A lot of these people will tell you that these are wind patterns, but these are not wind patterns. These are migration points. So basically, the people that were, or the energies that was in the land of Lumeria and the energies or spirits that was in the land of Atlantis, they migrated to these areas. So these energies of these personas are in the people of these lands that you see. You see Florida, you see South America. So there was a lot of knowledge that came out of the land of Mu with Queen Mu. She taught the Egyptians a lot of the stuff. The 40-year schools come from Queen Mu. When you look up the history of it and you look up Queen Mu, she was they later changed it to Mu, but it was Lumeria, right? It was the land of Mu, but it was Lumeria. So this is what it would look like right here. It was up under. So it was the land of Mu. It's in the Pacific Ocean. It is considered to be Lumeria or the land of Mu because of Queen Mu. And she taught different things coming out of these schools. She taught, you know, uh, the 40-year Egyptian school, it came from this particular uh knowledgeable person. And when you get to the knowledge and you dig through all of this, it's very intriguing. I find it very intriguing. A lot of people that venture to my page, they find it very intriguing. So I appreciate everyone that's here right now, everyone that's tapping the screen. Love is love. Namaste. Namaste. So, and that's coming out of the land of Mu or Lumeria, whatever you want to call it, right? And then you have Poseidon Island, right? Poseidon Island is where the Atlanteans are from. It's where they say Poseidon, rain. This is in the Atlantic Ocean, right? If you notice the pieces that are broke off, you see the tip of Florida right there, along with the Bermuda Triangle. They're said to be some sort of energy or water vortex, like right under the Gulf of Mexico somewhere, that is allowing a certain flow of water to keep on going. And it's very unique. It's a very unique spot. There's no other place that does it. So on and so forth. So as man continue to explore this plane of existence, new information is given to us, new knowledge is given to us. When you get into the reason why those people journeyed down to the Titanic, so on and so forth. It was never really about the Titanic. If you go do some studying, you'll see that it's portals in that particular area. Underwater portals, so on and so forth. You can say, like, at one particular time, the land was a lot different. It was a lot different. You know, if the waters was to go back down, we would probably be the ones sitting on a mountain. Our continents will be considered a higher plane. You know, so if you really think about it, with all the information that Japan is putting out, saying that they found, caverns that has full cultivation and so on and so forth, that means it's getting the sun somehow. These vegetation, so on and so forth, or it has its own sun, right? Somehow, some way, life is existing up under us in an astronomical way that is unexplainable, right? They are finding these caverns, they're finding caves fully filled with, old things that look better than the stuff we got. We thought brick and mortar was good. These people got cities made of crystals up under us. You know what I mean? These people got cities made of crystals up under us. And you think the story of King Kong was fake? Hell, that story might be realer than anything. The story of King Kong. That shit might be a real story. There might be different terrains. There might be, someone that's in the under terrain that's trying to take over. I seen that dinosaur that was breathing out ice. That could be the cause of the ice wall for all we know. You know what I mean? They could have had something that froze the ice wall. There's maps that show us without that ice wall. There's old maps that show that ice wall wasn't always there. Old maps. This is 100-year-old map. If it show up, this is 100-year-old map right here. 100-year-old map. I seen it in a hotel room down in Florida on the wall, 100-year-old map, right? That, 100+ year old map. Look at this. There's no ice on that. There's no ice around there. I mean, at one point, there was not no ice. You know what I mean? There wasn't no ice on that wall. These was islands and different land masses and stuff like that we probably used to visit. We probably used to kick it with them and everything. They probably was like, nah, never mind. Mankind is too greedy. They fornicate too fast. They're not taking the art of, life into consideration. They're not building, this is why the elves was considered so elderly, and why their birthing process actually took a lot longer than our birthing process. Almost like an elephant. An elephant goes in, carries for 12 to 16 months, 12 to 16 months an elephant carries, and when you go back into some of the studies of like elves and dwarves, and I know it's, fictional or whatever y'all want to call it, but when you go back into that and you study the elves, they also had a birthing process that made them live longer, but it was also a longer birthing process, for they did not fornicate the way that we fornicate. They actually had mating seasons. So you actually build this up inside of you, and then you had, mating rituals or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of things that are taken off the table that gives us a lack of discipline over our body. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that's taken off the table that gives us a lack of discipline. We need to have more discipline over our vessels. We need to have more discipline over our bodies, so that way we become masters of the flesh, masters of the carnal, right? It's not saying that we don't exist in the carnal no more, because surely what is always was and always will be, right? The carnal will always exist, right? The operation of the carnal will always exist. The energies that your bodies are creating, the universe needs these energies, right? So this will always exist. And in some form, some way, we will always be slaves to this plane of existence, for your physical form cannot move past a certain point within the fear, right? So you're always going to be here. And the problem is people are not realizing that. You think that life just exists inside the flesh, therefore you think all things come to an end once the flesh is done, and that's not true, right? Your spirit, the energy that's inside of you, it's been here, for eons. It's been here. It was literally here in the beginning when we said, let us make man in our image, right? The image was not in the image of what we look like. That's not the idea of what we did. When it said, let us make man in our image, it was the image that we create, right? So when we gathered the waters, and this is the life water, the holy water that's inside of you, we gathered all the water together, and then we put the land around it. The land is a representation of your body. This was our creation of earth in the time of God's. We didn't create this dirt plane that you talking about that you call earth. We didn't create that. The real earth is you. The universe created you. You were earth. And he breathed life into that earth, right? And that's the story of the universe, right? He gathered the water, he gathered the land and put it around the water. Name one piece of water outside of your body that is trapped. Name one piece of water outside of your body that has, that's a lake. That's a man-made lake. There's not no water on this earth that is trapped. That's not the water that he was talking about when it said he gathered the water and he put the land around it so the water cannot escape, and then he put the dome on it, right? He was talking about you creating the vessels of mankind. You are earth, right? But they gave us a duality. They gave us a story of earth outside of us. That's who the creator of this plane is. Whoever created this fictitious story of reality that we think is what it is, right? The names of the planets. all the things that they named, all the things that someone else did that. The universe did not do that. The universe created you, right? And said, you can rule down here. Someone else decided they wanted to play God and then created a story of God in their ideal image of what they wanted God to be. Not what the universe said. No, because the universe said, when you see me, you see the Father, you see the Son, the universe was teaching us to be him, to be it, to be the center of our own stories, to be the heroes of our own journeys, to be the, universe was preparing us to be great. Someone else decided that we shouldn't be great. Someone else decided that we shouldn't be someone else decided that we should be born in sin instead of born in righteousness. That was someone's perception of what we was born in. We are the righteous beings and vessel holders of the creative energy that is the universe, which gives us consciousness. That's why we can think, You don't see other animals out there thinking like we thinking. Hell, they don't even got opposable thumbs. Right? This is why evolution comes through in the procreation process. Each generation is stronger than the next generation, kind of like roaches. Right? Our kids ain't mentally suffering from the same blockage that we suffering from. We put them in that suffering. We remind them what grandmom did. We remind them what Uncle John did. We remind them about why we don't like Aunt Susie. We remind them about why, we have the civil rivalries that we had. Grandpop liked me more and mom didn't like that and da-da-da-da-da and all of it. We do that. We pass that generational curse on. We pass that bullshit on. We pass that shenanigans on. We do that collectively. Collectively, we do. I'm trying to break out of it, I told myself I wasn't going to put my kids through the same thing my dad put me through. And I ended up doing it anyway. My dad got taken away from me when I was, 5, came back in my life when I was 9 and exit out when I was 12 and then came back, and then I find myself doing the same thing, getting taken away, coming back in and then getting like it's repeated, This is why I made a promise to myself that, no matter what, kids do have a right, and any kid that would like to be fathered, I'm going to father them, whether they're mine biologically or not. If you want to be fathered, then I'm going to father you. If you around me, I'm going to father you. If you put your kid around me, I'm going to father them. That's it. Yes, I might yell at them. That's part of, raising them. That's part of trying to get them to practice good habits. That's part of growth. Right? A lot of moms don't want to be the bad guy. I'll be your huckleberry, I'll be your huckleberry. Why? Because kids need that. It's called discipline. You're teaching them how to control their flesh, how to control their urges, how to control their, everybody can't run around and just do what they want to do. We got to have some level of control over our body. Everybody is just in the mindset of just, whatever you feel, just go out and do whatever. We can't do that. We're supposed to have a level of dignity. We come too far to go back to caveman, Neanderthal types of thinking, right? Where's the evolution at? The evolution has to start in our brain first. If we want to see evolving, you guys wonder why mankind don't evolve anymore? Because we stopped giving the most powerful thing on this planet. We stop feeding it, your brain. The most powerful thing on this planet is your brain, and we stop feeding that. Oh, you know how to feed your face. You know how to feed your carnal. Oh, everybody teaches you how to do that. They tell you got to eat, but they're not telling you what the brain wants. Why ain't nobody giving you food for thought, the spoon and fork, but you do the dishes? Huh? Why is our education still at the same standstill that it was in 1975? Huh? Why every generation learns about the telltale heart? Why every generation learns about Helen Keller? Why every generation learns about the Diary of Anne Frank? Why? They teach that in school. 10, 20, 30 years done went by. Ain't none of that shit changed. They still give them the same book, still doing the same plays, Fiddler on the Roof. Every high school still doing the same fucking routine from 1950. Why? How? How is all this technology out there, but our education's not advancing? You still got the same damn storyline. All the history that then changed, all the history that then, and we still got the same storyline. Now we can really say the math ain't mathing. I mean, literally, in school, math is not mathing. They don't even teach kids to add the shit the same way we was taught. When we was growing up, Pluto was a planet. Now Pluto's not a planet. When we was growing up, there was nothing outside of our Milky Way. Now they see a firewall at the end of our galaxy. What the hell? Huh? Oh, y'all don't see what's going on? Evolution, my friend. Evolution. It's inevitable. What we thought we knew in 95, we only began to learn more. How you think we found out that damn Saturn has, 72 moons? How you think we know that? We didn't know that shit in 95. My 7th grade science teacher wasn't teaching me shit like that. Yeah, she taught me how energy comes from a potato. Yeah, she taught me that the earth is flat and that we dig into the crust. Really, we only been 8 miles in our crust. That's as far as that we went. It's 8 miles into the crust. So how y'all sitting there telling us that plate tectonic and the earth has a core that is malted and it's how? You motherfuckers only went 8 miles into it. How? How y'all telling us that? Oh, we sent sonars down there and the beacons came back and the shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. At this point, y'all just got to be honest, man. Just say you don't know. Stop trying to tell us some shit that you don't even know and the wrong answer. It's stories where people said they seen mirages and families walking out of mountains in Alaska, holding hands and shit. Stories about government officials who was going up there with explosives and shit. Stories about inner earth and shit like that inside of people's diaries. What about that damn bunker? What about that bunker in Alaska that they found? Huh? You don't want to talk about that? Nobody want to talk about these 2 million soldiers of Hitler's that just disappeared, but they finding places that's in like Spain and shit like that where people speak nothing but Russian. Y'all don't find that suspicious? That these whole, areas in Spain where Hitler, when they dispersed, this is where they migrated to. Y'all don't find that suspicious? See, that's why I like digging through the history of this world, because it's very intriguing. What you think you know is not really true. Huh? They about to fuck around and tell you Tupac's still living and the whole thing was a hoax. Huh? Robin Wood might come out and do another, what's his name? Whatever his name is, that came out with Flubber and all those other movies. He gonna fuck around and come out with another Mrs. Doubtfire. 2026, Mrs. Doubtfire coming out. Huh? It's gonna be double Doubtfire. Yep. Yeah, it was all a hoax. Everything was all a hoax. The unaliving process is not real. They just move these people to islands and shit and say, this is where you made it to. Yeah. That's what they're going to fuck around and tell us. Yeah. Fuck around and be like the movie, The Lottery. This is Mystery Babylon, though. So I'm not, look, anything they tell us now, I'm not going to be shocked by. I promise you. I'm not going to be surprised by it. I'm not going to be like, oh, nah, it ain't going to be none of that. It ain't going to be none of that. None of that. I'm going to just be like, yep, I kind of knew it. Yep, I kind of figured. Because that's what it's looking like. it's more so looking like that than it is the other way. Like it's more so looking like that. And this is why I say you got to understand chakras, because even though your body, your third dimension is made up of 8 chakras, there's another set of chakras that makes up your fourth dimension, and there's another set of chakras that make up your fifth dimension. There's so many different chakras. Once you put your tree back together and you start blossoming and you get back your acoustic records and everything like that, you're going to find so many more pathways. Like it's almost going to be looking like a Dean Koontz novel, or you're going to be looking at it like it's Stephen, whatever that one writer is. You're gonna be looking at one of them books. It's gonna be like 1,500 pages or something. You're just gonna be like, damn, I gotta read that whole book. Yup, you gotta read that whole book. Yup, I can't, pass you my ID to get in the club. I can't go in and leave the back door open. Nope. In order to get in this club, you got to do the work yourself. You actually got to go search and journey for this knowledge. Yes, I can help you. I can help you by doing exactly what I'm doing now, right? Speaking, being a voice of it. And then what's that going to do? It's going to sit on your subconscious, and then it's going to bring other variations of that to you, because it's going to be intriguing to your mind. So the universe is going to reveal it to you now more. You know what I mean? It's going to reveal it to you now, whether it be in a workplace or whatever. It's going to be revealing these energies to you. It's like people are going to start acting weird around you because you embarked on another, variety of knowledge. If you start having these conversations, people are going to start, looking at you like, oh yeah, you're going to see the shift right before your eyes. You're going to be like, damn, why the fuck they treating me different ever since I started talking about moon stars and quasars? Why everybody treating me funny ever since I started studying astrology or looking into Zachariah Stitson? Why everybody, color me bad, right? But this is what happens. This is what takes place. The enemy that's inside of them knows when you awaken. And you think that you woke up. Oh yeah, the enemy knows when you awaken. They know it. They like, who is that? Like soon as your light come on, they like, oh, somebody turn the light on over there. Get them. And they all swarm your ass. So you got you got to be very, very slick, and you got to have the ability to protect it, right? This is why I protect it with laughter, love, truth. They can't hide from the truth, and they can't fight the truth. They're doing all this different stuff to try to do this weird manipulation thing where they make you, one way, make you think this way, make you think. Listen, it's all sneaky. It's all sneaky. It's all devil work. If you ask me, they knew that we were going to return. They knew that we were going to, take over these vessels and raise them to higher vibrational frequencies, and they were prepared for our return. And when I say our return, I mean the energies that exist within inside of you, right? There's energies inside of all of us, right? And they knew these energies was going to awaken. They knew that the RNA was going to awaken in the Aquarius sky, and it took eons, you might as well say, of preparation to try to block this magnitude of energy. We as human beings can't even fathom the timeline of what took place to get us to this point that we're at right now, because time don't exist, right? So because time don't exist, everything is happening now and then and in the future. So all of it is happening at the same time. So when you get the understanding how everything is happening at the same time, you start to have a grander notion for what is, always was, and always will be. So really, these are just fragments of different realities laid on top of each other, and we get an opportunity to change that in the Aquarius sky. We actually get an opportunity to rise to a greater version of ourself, a greater level of activity within our DNA, within our solar clock. So right now, our DNA is embarking on a change. Our bodies are going through it, so on and so forth. So your light body is going through this process right now. And a lot of people are not understanding it, but this is the real return of the ascended master. Like this is what's taking place inside of you right now, And I'll just read a little bit because it's a lot.
There have been Guardian projects directing gold-and-silver eggs and gold-and-silver energetic current through the main twin Dragon Ouroboros lines that run from Avebury and through Xi'an City and Mount Kailash's architecture. There are starry night dark firmament connector points from the Rasha body linking into constellations of stars that form into a cosmic Christos sunstar network in Canopus and Sirius for unifying the solar Rishiresha template. The primary focus is building the Holy Mountain architecture for seeding the Blue Rainbow Bridge, a type of cosmic Christ consciousness distribution center in which different star patterns that are connected to the ascended master Rishiresha identities can heal their light body and reunite with their spiritual sunstar home and divine counterparts. This is the architectural preparation for integration of Paleodorian identities throughout the 12 evolutionary rounds, which collapses the Paleodorian cell of personal Christ identities in order to generate the cosmic Starman Starborn expression of authentic Ascended Master templates. Some of the Ascended Master embodiments began to surface earlier this year during the Epiphany window of January 6, when the solar Rishik Masters connected to the stars in Orion's belt began to make themselves known as the Three Wise Men, further explaining their connection to Fisher King divine masculine archetypes. The Fisher King archetype is the Magi Grail King Guardian who holds and protects the cosmic records of the creation, the high Melchizedek priest that embodies and holds the spiritual knowledge of the soul's evolutionary purpose throughout time, as connected to his land's tribe or lineage. Due to the severe wounds of the Fisher King, exacerbated by his inability to join in high.
Now we can get into that, but there's been many stories told about the Mahu Jagrel and the Fisher King, and this story that we keep on overlooking about being a fisher of men, and how the operation of being a fisher of men actually works, and how we are all actually hell divers. That's what I like to call us. We are truly hell divers, for that is what we're down here doing. We are down here diving into hell to fish for the souls of man, right? And the only way we can fish for the souls of man is through people, right? The only way I can get to your soul is through you. The only way I can speak to your spirit is if you lend me your ear, right? Let me see. Because she's a bobcat. Mm-hmm.
No way, that's what Valkyries are. Have you played this sword?
You see our little bobcat?
Upper. Huh? I haven't got that far. Chapter 1 is nice. Oh, don't pull. Dang, you're still in chapter 1. Normal difference. I'm just gonna skip everything.
Why? Why?
Oh, they really. So, like your final word for this chapter.
This is Xena. This is my little warrior princess. Come on, Lucy. Come on. You remember you used to sit up on my lap? Hmm? Hmm? Now you won't even jump up here. You just stare at me for food. um so no. So yeah, when you get into this goes back into the Holy Grail. But I'm going to switch it and jump into the Egyptian race and wars that took place. This is where, Tara came in, the memories of it. There was a lot of stuff that took place with Atlantis that allowed that, you can say like, okay, okay, in your mind, you remember being forced into a portal of forgetfulness, right? One's in the chat. One's in the chat. If you kind of remember like you were forced to forget or wanted to forget or made to forget or some type of operation of forgetfulness was in our story. Like I remember like basically a war taking place and all the losers of the war had to like go through this portal. I can't tell you like it's Stargate, whatever it is, like because I watch so many movies, so it could be a mixture of shit, right? But I strongly remember this. I strongly remember. I even remember the manipulation that took place with Christmas, right? I remember all of us being forced to praise someone else's God. I remember all of us being forced to praise someone else's God. I remember us having secret meetings and secret conversations where we were asking each other, like, what if we pretend to praise their God on the outside, but on the inside, we're praising our God? I remember us having conversations like that eons ago. I remember us having conversations like that where we said that we were going to pretend to praise their God on the outside, but keep our one true God to our heart. I remember us. And somewhere along the line, we forgot what the fuck we were pretending to do. And now we really doing the shit that we said we was pretending to do.
Contrary to the current controlled scientific narrative, the Egyptian races are much older than believed, as these spiritual lineages have genetic memory that originally came from Terra. When these lineages incarnated upon the earth, they were the main human hosting tribe and were much more technologically advanced with diversified diamond sun genetics, in order to redirect the Egyptian culture back to the practices of the Law of One. Hence, the Blue Flame Melchizedeks and the Pharaonic royal lines had retained written records from Turan timeline history and had cellular memory of the galactic wars transpiring in Orion and Lyra. They had a basic technological knowledge of the mechanics of the planetary ley lines, and were aware of the location of the celestial star patterns and planetary stargates. Thus, they had much higher functioning brains and a working thalamus center that gave them consciousness transport capabilities, along with a sophisticated understanding of how the planetary Templar functioned to move spectrums of frequency into the ley lines from the energetic current circulating throughout the planetary grid network. Some had access to high-level Atlantean handheld technology that was left to the Magi Grail lines by the founders after the Cataclysm, as well as having ongoing communication with other off-planet civilizations to cooperate with utilizing ancient builder technologies that would help to rebuild and advance the Earth's civilizations from out of the Dark Age. The accurate historical timelines of the Egyptian civilization have been erased in mainstream science and replaced with the approved controller narrative of humans evolving from apes. Orion's Belt, or the Belt of Orion, also known as the Three Kings or Three Sisters, is a pattern of stars in the constellation of Orion, and this particular area resonates at the 8D level of the metagalactic core. Orion's Belt consists of three bright stars with names originally sourced from Arabic: Al-Natak, Al-Nalam, and Mintaka. When first learning astronomy, many people are told to use these three stars in the belt that points directly to Sirius, in order to locate the brightest star in the night sky.
The Tara that is in Ireland is named after the planet Tara. Tara is one of the dimensional planes. So when it's talking about Tara, it's named after, because everything that's outside is named after something that's inside, and everything is inside is named something that's above and below, so on and so forth. So a lot of the stuff that we rename, like Egypt is the body, but we renamed it as a place down here. So a lot of stuff that's renamed and a lot of the stuff that we, you know, name and so on and so forth, it's just a reenactment of what is always was. There's nothing new under the sun, in other words.
The name Terra has been used to describe the future Earth in its 5D form in the Soul Matrix universe. Our planet Earth exists in three main formed identities in this universal time matrix. The
Wow.
Earth originally came from Terra, which was a planet in the second harmonic universe that exploded and then imploded into a black hole. Some of the fragments were pulled into the lower dimensions and became our planet and solar system. Organic and naturally evolving solar systems that remain connected to the center point of all union generally include 12 planets, including the Sun or solar body. In the Earth's solar system, mainstream scientists have not recognized Nibiru and the planet Maldek, which exploded a long time ago into the asteroid belt. 3D Earth is called Earth or Terra, 5D Earth is called Terra, and 7D Earth is called Gaia. Different ED races and extra-dimensionals may call these
I might
future
have to
Earths by
move the
different
other one
names
in here.
based on their language. Such as
Box up
Urantia,
in the
they are
room.
all planet Earth at different
Put the
stages of
box
evolution in the
along
timelines.
here. The box that's plugged up in the room for the internet. Put it in here, over here, and then take that one that's up there and put that one in the back. Maybe. So you have 3D Earth and then 5D Earth is called Tara.
The 5D planet Terra exploded millions of years ago and as a result, was sucked into a reversal black hole which fragmented the entire fifth-dimensional planetary blueprint into 12 planetary bodies in our current third-dimensional solar system. This includes the 3D version of Earth we inhabit.
And that's what we inherited now, right? All the things that are in this solar system is a part of that, black hole being sucked in. And that's where we're living at. Inside that black hole with all of our fragments of the planet, the 12 planetary bodies that are in our solar system, so on and so forth. That's where we're currently residing at. Allegedly, supposedly.
Inhabit in this time vector of the universal time matrix. These 12 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Maldek, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Nibiru, and then the Sun star. Current science recognizes only 7 planets of the 12 in our solar system, along with dwarf planets.
I like that. I don't even know how to
1.
pronounce it, but I like it. Atlassian. Atlassian. I like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. And when I figure out the pronunciation, we're gonna mess around and so yeah, frequency, harmony, like we have to know a better a better sound. We have to know a better sound.
The
Our
Emerald Founder
ears are
records reveal
tuned
that there are
to it.
12 Essene tribes which make up the entirety of the collective human gene pool, or are the descendants of universal tribal shield that has been originally incarnated onto this planet from the future timelines of Terra. The original 12 Essene tribes were seeded on the Earth as a part of the evolution plan that was the result of the Covenant of Paleodor, to rescue the lost souls of Terra, making it easier to reclaim these identities when the stargates finally open during the end of the Ascension cycle. 2. Second Harmonic Universe. HU2, 5D Pleiadian groups. These collective consciousness bodies exist on the planet Earth throughout the densities and are aspects of the future timelines and the light body of the planet Earth. The Earth consciousness body is directly interconnected in all harmonic universes to interface with the human consciousness, which is its life form expression in all densities. In the second harmonic universe in 4D-5D-6D exists the 3 layers of the soul matrix. In the second harmonic universe in 4D-5D-6D exists the 3 layers of the Terra matrix.
So that is, if we was to get into the Terra Matrix and how the Terra Matrix is broke down and so on and so forth, you would get into a universal time matrix, kind of like this, which is the 12 time fields in the 15 dimensions, right? So within inside the 15 dimensions, there's 12 time fields, and this is the cosmic logo right here, which is a representation of your the crown of your head, your fingerprints, this cosmic logos. This is God's thumbprint. They say it's the thumbprint of God. It is on our head, where our soft spot is at. our fingerprints. When you look at the planet from, outer space, wherever they're at, you can see this at the top of every planet. They literally have this smudge mark at the top of every planet that looks like a spiraling tornado cloud or something like that. Um, and there's no space and time, uh non-dimensionalized. So the energy matrix, there's no space or time. So there's a part in your mind that holds no space or time, right? There's a part in all of our minds that holds no space or time, right? But this is when you're breaking down the dimensions of your mind. So you have one, which is the root chakra, which is red, right? This consists of the subconscious mind, right? Automatic process, physical body, intelligence, hard drive, uh, cellular memory, right? And then you have your sacral chakra, which is orange. This is your instinctual mind, your lower emotional body, your desires, your creative sexual urges and addictions, so on and so forth. This is considered to be the prostitute of the vessel that sits by the waters, right? This is what that is, because this is where all your desires are at. This is where all your guilty pleasures are at, right? So a lot of people get caught up in this part of the chakra. A lot of people get trapped in this part of the chakra. And then once you start indulging in these desires and addictions and stuff like that, it puts you in guilt, which puts you back down into your root chakra. Because once you feel guilty for something, you then shame yourself. And that shame drops you back down to your root chakra. And then you're back into that survival, fight or flight mindset, so on and so forth. But if we're moving up to your solar plex chakra, which is represented by yellow, this is your conscious mind matrix, your personality, your lineage, your reasoning, your ego. Where's that baby cat at? Mm-hmm. Lucy hitting her with them skibbity paps.
Yeah.
And this is density 1, right? This is the first hue verse, right? This is the first hue verse. This consists of these three dimensions, which is our 3D earth, right? So this is our physical plane, right? And then you have 5, you got your 5th dimensional earth, which is density 2 hue verse, right? This consists of your heart chakra, which is green, astro mind, collective race mind, intuition. I mean, yeah. Your heart, your lungs, complex, reptilian invasion, Egyptian, Sphinx, so on and so forth, right? This is your heart chakra. A lot of people get trapped in this heart chakra because this is where the Egyptian story of crucifixion comes in. This is where all your martyrdom systems comes in to keep you in fear. All of your trials and tribulations are trapped in this chakra right here, because a lot of people can't get over a lot of things. They can't get past a lot of things. Their parents letting this happen to them. This happened, that happened. Somebody did this, somebody did that. It's somebody's fault, right? Lack of accountability, blaming the world on the people before us. We messed the world up, as the young people will say. It's y'all old people, y'all messed it up for us. So whatever, however this works, this is where a lot of the people problems lie, within the heart chakra. A lot of y'all can't get past y'all heart chakra. Y'all can't let something go. You're talking about the same stuff over and over again. And you see this happening, especially in the Black community. They will drag something out for months on end. I mean, look at the situation that we just now walked into, right? Somebody's talking about, oh, they falsely locked me up. They did this and they called my PO back in fact. All this bullshit, right? It's all old. You can't never let bygones be bygones if you keep on trying to, speak about what people did to you, or because then if somebody start pointing out the things that you did, then it's like, yo, you ain't never gonna let me live it down. How am I supposed to change things if you always bringing it up? But when they do it, it's different, right? Just let it go. For real, for real. Just let it go. If you're moving on better, if you're doing something for the community, do something great for the community. If you're moving on, if you want to bring something better to the table, bring something better to the table. But don't keep talking about your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We about over people that's talking about they shoulda, coulda, wouldas. But I digress, right? So then you have your throat chakra, right? Your throat chakra, your etheric template body. You know what I mean? This is where your strength comes in. The ability to speak is strong. Your Palladian plane, timeline ascension, speak soul plane, right? So this is where your strength comes in. And your throat chakra, the ability to stand on truth, have integrity, right? A lot of people say stuff, and then when they're in the person's presence that they said it about, they say, man, I ain't say it. It wasn't like that. Da, 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 da. A lot of people don't stand on their word. They don't let their word be their bond, right? We are bonded by our words, especially in this Aquarius sky. We are surely bonded by our words, right? So you got to be cautious of what you put your words on. Speak truth into your life. Speak your life into existence. Speak positive into your life. Look, it's not saying that negative is not going to come, because negative is always going to come, but speak positive into your life, right? I'm dealing with negativity, but I always speak positive into my life. I know trials and tribulations going to come, but I always know that I'm going to get through it because I'm speaking positive into my life, right? I realized at the age of 28 that it was me that was causing all of these negative things to happen in my life because I was questioning it. Just like a kid sits there when their parents break up, they say, did they break up because of me? Did I do that? Right? Sometimes you got people that never get over going through that level of contemplation in their head where they're saying, was it me? Did I do it? Right? Some people will never get over it. They'll just keep on doing it in their head over and over again. What did I do? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? They'll beat themselves up, right? The universe starts giving you more things to be wrong about. The universe starts providing you with more things to be wrong about because the universe is thinking that that's what you're asking for. That's why I don't say good morning, because when you say that, the vibrational frequency, the universe don't know the difference between the change in the spelling, right? The universe don't know the spell that's in the word. The universe hear the vibrational frequency coming off of your, vocals, and it's morning. It ain't saying like, I'm not talking about that type of morning. I'm talking about no, no, no. The universe thing, you can't say that to the universe. Universe speaking in frequencies. So you running around talking about it's good morning, and then you wondering why the universe keep giving you shit to mourn about. Man, why is death all around me? Why is everybody else? Yo ass said good morning. You like this shit. All right. Anyway, so you got your third eye chakra, celestial mind, indigo family, perfect ideas, inner vision, clarity, Sierrian, right? So this is why I said that, this is why I was pointing out the falsity around what Jaguar and them was saying, right? And this is deep to me, right? This is why we came over here in the first place, because we seen that they have lives scheduled back in December where they was doing off-world DNA tests, right? But if you're looking at these dimensions right here, you'll see the same names that they depicted Jaguar to have, the same stuff that they depicted Jaguar to have. You'll see these same names right here. You'll see the same names. That Sierrian bird that they showed Jaguar, that's in your third eye chakra right here. It tells you that the energy indigo, right? Third eye chakra, perfect idea, individual, clarity, Sierrian, right? These are the names of them right here. All of those things that they were trying to give Jaguar names to, saying that she had this blood in her or that blood in her, it is all right here on this ascension list. That's why I was like, hell no, they not about to falsify that. They know these energies are in everybody. They know this stuff exists within the chakra systems of our vessel. Why are they trying to make it seem like it's creatures? These things exist on different dimensions. So there's no way it's even shaped or look like a bird, because that don't exist in another dimension. It don't exist in another density. That means all creatures will have to say. That's like saying that, I seen a cow in the water or something, or you seen a whale in the deepest no, everything that's in the water lives within the density that it can survive in. If it goes any further, it's a different density. It can't survive in that density. It will have to change shape or form, right? So what? The dogs are outside. So everything exists, but when they were saying that, they was falsifying the information, and that's what was pissing me off. It wasn't the fact that they were talking about it, it was the fact that they falsified all of it. When they started talking about the Aquarian blood and what they say, the Nickas or whatever blood, they was lying. They were lying. So of course, someone that's actually studying this stuff, someone that's looking into this stuff is going to be furious, because this is what they were preparing us for. What we see now, appreciate it. What we see now is what they were preparing us for. This ascension process, all of this knowledge coming in, right? And this is where your avatar matrix comes in. DNA. DNA equals genetic key to consciousness, right? So your DNA is your genetic key to your consciousness, right? And then it says structured bands of EMF, light, sound, tones, um, scalar waves make up metaphor genetic field, the DNA instruction set, right? And this is where the cradle of Lyran comes in at. When I told you guys that Lucifer comet entered back into the Lyran constellation 420 of last year, this is what I was talking about when I said that the northern part of our sky affects the northern part of our brain, and the southern part of our sky affects the southern part of our brain. So if there's activity going on in the southern part of our sky, then you might have headaches in the back part of your brain. If there's activity going on in the northern part of our sky, depending on how heavy the activity is, you might have headaches in the northern part of your brain. Also, you might see effects or changes in the auroralis with the colors and everything. Also, if you're studying the Schumann resonator, due to the fact that we're in the time of reset, you're going to see blank spots in the Schumann resonator, and you're also going to see a transfer of colors where you're going to see rainbow colors in the Schumann resonator. That's because we are pushing in all of the colors from the rainbow, pretty much. So this is where that gold color coming in from the sun comes in, right? They told you that the sun is going to get stronger. After this, the sun will move into a white color. This is the double diamond sun plate. Right now, we're moving into the gold grail, or what is called the golden age. So we are ushering in a different state of mind, which is going to usher in a different state of being, which is going to bring in greater personas of us, right? So all these things are happening. The platinum liquid light body blueprint, 144, 12 base frequency, crystal, avatar body runs, 12D hub, ascension, chakras 6 below, feet connected to shield 12 feet. This is grounding, getting back in touch with. And shout out to everybody that's been grounding. I seen a lot of people grounding when I was traveling on the road. I seen a lot of people stopping at rest stops and grounding and stuff like that. So there's a lot more people grounding, getting back in touch with nature, allowing their feet to touch the grass, as they say. So, shout out to those people who are staying in touch with the consciousness of Earth, which is Gaia, and allowing them to keep some sort of survey of what's going on down here. Our Kundalini energy is awakening, and we are all part of this, greatly a part of this. Y'all see the knowledge that I'm providing. Y'all see what I'm pushing out there. I hope you guys, support this. I hope you guys, feel as though this is something worth supporting. We are putting together the homestead. We do got a lot of stuff going on the farm, so on and so forth. What a time to be. Yes, what a time to be. Absolutely. So yeah, and listen, man, all that beef over here on YouTube, all that beef that they had us in, man, that stuff is done. When we dropped that album, that was it. That was it. We ain't trying to keep on going back and forth with y'all. That's it. We dropped the album. That's it. That's how beef worked. We dropped our beef album. It's over with.
My man, my man, my man. You say it on loop like it's part of the plan. Delusional stalker, can't take a hint. You a trick ass, old bad built ass bitch. Lot lizard lurking, smelling like regret. Tryna come for Atlas, girl, place your bet. Bad built bitch with a stale taco wilted lettuce between your legs.
Y'all hit that green at one time for me tonight.
You chase that man,
I can use it. I got some stuff to take care of. Everybody throw something at knowledge one time.
They all in your head.
Donate something for knowledge.
I
love y'all regardless.
She fell for a man who hit reverse quick. My man, it's getting pathetic. He dodging you like bills and credit. My man, Donut don't want you, please understand. Donut don't want you. He wants his member to be covered in doodle. You rode the short bus, never learned the route. Jump in deep waters, forgot how to get out. Gasping, grasping, now you yelling names. Got Atlas in your mouth, girl, stay in your lane. He don't want you, that ain't hate, it's facts. You chasing a ghost with emotional cracks. Back it up, trucker, park in reverse. You need a psych, evolving a nurse. My man, sounding like a broke down fan. Go cry in your cab, clutching a plan, but baby, he ain't your man. A broke down fan. Go cry in your cab, clutching a plan, but baby, he ain't your man. Light lizard lurking, smelling like regret. Tryna come for Atlas, girl, place your bet. Bad built bitch with a stale taco wilted lettuce between your legs. Big rig queen with a brain on E. You chase that man like a damn you might be blocking love is love. So what's your chat made of? You might be blocking love is love. So what's your chat made of? I see you flip but dip the game, yeah. Well, you the only one to blame. Tell the crow she won't be twerking. All the lies you told ain't working. In your chat, them swords be lurking. Ready to chop, chop, chop your Birkin. We can see you playing lambs, but you built your shit on scams. Playing victim to make it rain. Now you swim in the sea of pain. Now stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make it wane. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it wane. Yo, chat better make it wane. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it wane. You been swinging the biggest wrench, then you hide behind I'm French. The universe gave you a sign. It's why your channel's on the line. Love is not a joke. You should have thought before you spoke. Acting like you better than woke. Now you're choking on the smoke. If you don't want the wrong words to leak, mind the gap before you speak. Now stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make it wane. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it wane. Now stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make it wane. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it wane. Less than a year you on the scene. You act like you set the queen. Hiding behind the Haitian flag. Backstab, jag, and lose the bag. You only mad, G, now it's tragic. She a witch, she got that magic. Yeah, she had to flex on you. Your big mouth put that hex on you. Just like a boomerang. Karma came and did her thing. You thought you'd play wise, but your spirals down is no surprise. Your growth was no less than foul. A poisonous snake dressed as an owl. Oh, 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 now stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make it rain. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it rain. Now stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make it rain. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it rain. Now stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make yo, chat better make it rain. Yo, chat better fling some cheddar. Yo, chat better make it rain. Now stay in your lane. Chat better make yo, chat better make it rain. Yo, chat better bring the cheddar. Yo, chat better make it rain. Stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make it rain. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it rain. Stay in your lane. Yo, chat better make it rain. Yo, chat better, yo, chat better, yo, chat better make it rain. Stay in your lane.
Shout out to Danny Robinson and the Avengers, for fighting crime like they do. Because this you gotta fight crime on this YouTube. You gotta fight crime on these YouTube pages now, man. You definitely gotta fight crime on these pages. It's just hectic. It's just real hectic out here. And you gotta fight on here. You gotta definitely fight on here. It's crazy. So shout out to everybody that's unifying, fighting this variation of low vibrational entities, pointing out all of these scammers, grifters, and because it's the people. The people are losing out. The people are getting played on. The people are getting taken advantage of. And if we don't point them out, more people are going to take advantage of. You got to think about the people that they would have kept on doing this to, right? It's so many, it's so many of them. You know what I mean? So, at this point, you got to just be honest with yourself and be thankful for the people that is pointing them out. You got to be honest for you, be honest with that. And at least we on here pointing them out, At least we are on here pointing them out. Because if we wasn't on here pointing them out, they'd be taking advantage of so many more people. Literally, like, think about how many people will still be falling victim to it. They will still have the whole gang together. You will still have Murph over there. You will still have Grace over there, like pretending to be a mental health therapist and everything. These people said they was mental health therapists. They said they was mental health therapists. You know what I mean? So you got a whole group of people that is playing on other people's feelings and emotions and, mental well-being. You know what I mean? Is grace okay? I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with with any of those people. I stopped paying attention to them after after it came out that Jaguar is basically mentally unstable. After all of that came, and listen, nah, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Cause I think they all disturbed. I think they all came out of like the loony house. I think they all came out the loony house. I think they all came out the loony bin. And I think they just been released upon society. It's like they didn't have enough money to keep them no more. So they just released them. Because they everywhere. Look at the knot. Just look at the knot. If you have to realize he's unstable. You have to, you know what I mean? You have to see that he's unstable. There's no possible way you could still be, seeing his level of activity and say that that's normal. You cannot possibly say that's normal. There's no way that you think that's normal. It's just not normal. You know? And me personally, I think they're all in the same like I think they're all doing the same thing. I'm sorry. I just think they're all doing the same thing. I think all of them's grifted. I think all of them still part of the same bullshit. They're all just trying to find different ways to I at this point, like I'm just going, we just gotta stay to ourselves, Atlas family. At this point, we know who we know, we fuck with who we fuck with. That's it. Like we just gotta, you know what I mean? Something's going on and it don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Who you gonna call? You know? Because there's something strange in this neighborhood. Something very strange. We're watching the same group of people do the same thing. And then we're watching people act like they don't see the people doing the same thing. I'm good. Count me out. I think we're going to, keep on pushing out knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You know what I mean? I think we're going to keep on pushing out love, keep on moving the way that we moving. Right? I think we are getting through to a lot of people. I think that's a great thing. I think a lot of people are coming into some idea of changing. They might not want us at the table, but at least they are changing. You know what I mean? It's okay that they don't want us at the table with them as long as they, changing, as long as they changing for, the greater good. We could take that. We can accept that, you know. They don't have to have us at the table for it. We can accept it, fact. And a lot of people are stealing our method, taking our method, but we always said that. We always said that we will rub off on them before they rub off on us, and we can't be upset about how we're rubbing off. Let's just be gracious that we're rubbing off on them. Let's just be gracious that more people are waking up, you know, and more people are wanting something different. That's all we can appreciate right now, that people are actually wanting something different. I'll take that. I'll take the change, I'll take the shift. you know I'll take that. And they don't want to help us build what we building, and that's we're gonna have to be okay with that. We're gonna have to be okay with the fact that they don't want us to build what it is that we building. You know, they're going to try to take the idea and build it. Of course, it's not going to be, because it's not going to be from the original creator of it. So, of course, but hey, we take what we can. All right. We'll take what we can, and that's it. You know, the universe will help us with the rest. Right. Right now, y'all see what's taking place. Y'all see great changes happening. Y'all see the universe making things happen. So, kudos for that. I'm happy that that's happening. You know what I mean? I'm happy that the universe is lining us up like that. The, you know, and some people are not liking it. I heard that a couple of people are losing pages, you know. I heard, a couple of people might be losing some pages behind some copyright, and I told y'all that interview was not real. That interview was fake. That interview that Jaguar said she had, that was a fake interview. She knows it was a fake interview and they were going to use it to grift money, so on and so forth. And it just didn't work out for them. And that is what they get. That's what they get. That is what they get. You know, they play the game and that's what they get because they did that. They did that to themselves. Nobody else. They did it. They sat there and think about it. She got this, they grifting for thousands. They grifting for thousands and still ain't produced nothing yet. They on here grifting for thousands, you know? People talking about they got books, they doing this, they doing that. Where you got the show for it? Why you ain't buying no land? Why you ain't start helping the people yet? What are y'all really doing? It don't take that much to get together and buy land, you know? It don't take that much for them to get together and buy land. $10,000, they can get 2 acres. They can get some land. They not doing that though. You got to ask yourself why. It ain't like these people got bills. It ain't like they could tell you they got bills. They out here living hotel to hotel, you know what I mean? They out here doing whatever. They not out here, taking care of a bunch of shit or whatever. They should have enough to where as though they should actually be doing something. You know what I mean? They should actually be changing things or bringing forth change or something, anything. You got to ask yourself, it's got to be something, you know, something's got to be off if you don't see their progression. If you don't see them going nowhere, all these years Jaguar's been on here. She's going from Instagram to she was on TikTok. I mean, she was on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. She was on all these pages. Why didn't they put together and buy no land yet? Why they don't even have a trailer yet, right? They doing all of this and they ain't even start buying nothing to really help people or nothing. Nothing. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself how. Ask yourself how. Ask yourself how she's got cruelty free music, but ain't got not one artist yet. She got cruelty free, but ain't got one artist yet. Not one artist. Why is that? You know? Because that's not their goal. That's not what they trying to do. They got other goals. They got other agendas. Their agenda is not to put together people. They not even searching for talent. They ain't even searching for talent. You know? Explain that. That they not even out here searching for talent, ain't even out here doing no auditions, ain't even out here letting people perform on the platform to say that they taking applications. None of that. You see none of that going on. And ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Because that's never their goal. That was never their goal. Their goal was never to do none of that. Like you just said, we got 3 albums out. 3. They have yet to put nothing out, yet to say that they not even doing a talent search. I ain't searching for shit. You know? So whatever it is, you gotta ask yourself, what's really going on? That's what you gotta ask yourself. What's really going on? Because it ain't what they saying it is. I promise you that. It can't be. It can't be what they saying it is because it's easy to step out and be independent, right? With the amount of numbers that she say she bringing in, having 100,000 people or whatever she got over there, it should be nothing for her to tell everybody to go to Spotify or Amazon or wherever they put the music out at. It would be nothing, absolutely nothing. But you don't see that happening, do you? You don't see that happening, do you? And you got to ask yourself, why? Why don't you see that happening? They ain't coming out with no music. They not trying to bring out no music. None of that shit. Ain't none of that shit happening. And they the ones that's got the nonprofit organization, the nonprofit cruelty free. They supposed to be doing all of this stuff. And you really gotta ask yourself what's going on. You really gotta ask yourself what's going on. These people are not doing what they say they're doing. They're not even trying to do it, right? These people saying, "Oh, I'm taking acting classes. I need 25,000 for my acting classes. Give me 25,000 for my acting classes. Y'all got to help me get through this acting stuff." Blase, blase, right? And then all they do is drop out. And then they lie and say, "Oh, I'm writing a bunch of short films. I'll be putting together my short films," right? But then guess what? You're going to have to put together the money for them to pay the actors for the short film. Then you're going to have to put together the money to do it's all just another scheme, another gimmick, another set of bullshit. That's what it is. Another scheme, another gimmick, another round of bullshit. Right? And the reality of it is we here for it. We watching it, and I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna say like, uh I'm not even gonna say like we can stop it because we can't. Those people already got the people that is following them. They already got the people that's supporting them. All we can do is get our supporters. All we could do is get our supporters together. And try to stop the people. That want to see the truth, that want to see better, that want to. You know what I mean? That's all we could do because the people that they already corrupted, they already corrupted a good amount of people already. You know, they already corrupted a good amount of people. They already got and those people are already mind warped. You could see, you could see. They keep on trying to reinvigorate each other. They keep on trying to bring each other back. They keep on trying to, you know, bring that back. That oh, this person a good person, this person a good, listen, I guess in other words, like, I don't know how many applications they hit or whatever, but this is like uh a T cell, you know? This is like running into a T cell. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what this is like because that's what they operate like, you know? They operate like that. It's crazy, but that you're watching this and this is group operation. This is groups that's operating like this, you know? And they circle around each other and so on and so forth. Like, no, I listen, count me out. If it ain't integrity, if it ain't, if we ain't operating on integrity, if we ain't operating on something better, like I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Like I feel like, I really feel like, you know, we need to learn how to operate better. We need to learn how to, deal with each other in, a better sense. You know what I mean? Because people are not dealing with each other properly. People are not, operating with each other properly. And it's just weird. It's all a very weird sense of operation, the way people are operating, you know? And they not being honest. They not being honest because the honesty is not the best policy. Right now, the way that they're operating with these low vibrations, getting other people to do it, getting other people in the mix, trying to get other people to do this, do that. Like you can see the false sense of operation. You can see it. You can very much so see the false sense of operation. But nobody's willing to operate on integrity because they got their own little, I guess things that they feel as though like I guess it's easier not to say nothing about somebody that's darker than you because then it hides the shades of darkness that you are. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to pretend like we don't see certain levels of criminal activity because you know it hides the it's where's our integrity? Where's our moral compass at? Where's our dignity at? You know? You mean to tell me we came this far as a species, as a collective, and we don't have no dignity? We don't have no integrity? How? How we come so far as species and you know listen, I get it, some of y'all still want to be looked at as trophies. Y'all still want to be looked at, some of y'all still want to be looked at as that. Y'all still want to be looked at as objects, whatever the case may be. That we can see that. We can see that. We can see that operation right now. And that's probably the problem of this world is the manipulation of this world, right? The way that people are manipulated, the way that people, you know, operate on currency, money. You know, a lot of people operate on currency and money. That's how a lot of people operate. You know, they operate on currency, they operate on money. And, that's the craziest thing in this world is to lie about that level of operation. You know, it's here, it's happening. You know, that's what people operate on. They act like it's not, yes, we need money to do some things. Yes, we need money to change. But if we get the right amount of people, if we, all do it collectively, then we can uh change things greatly, you know? We watch people become famous overnight, for the most goofiest shit, the dumbest shit, you know? Why are we not making, intellectual people famous? Why are we not doing that? You know? We watch people go famous for the dumbest stuff. They get their viral moments. But it's a reason why, intellect is not getting its viral moment. It's a reason why knowledge is not getting its viral moment. There's a reason for that, you know? Is we not buying into that. That's not what we buying. They only gonna sell us what we buy into. If we ain't buying into it, they not gonna sell it to us. That's plain and simple. If we ain't buying into it, they ain't gonna sell it to us. Right? And I guess at this point, we gotta say, you know, we gotta say that's okay. That's okay. That's fine, right? But is it? You know? But we doing better. We doing better. We moving to better things. We pushing forward to better things. We're trying to move in a better direction, so on and so forth. Um, life is happening right now. Life is happening right now. Greater things in life is happening. The unification of this is magnificent, if you ask me. I think, the way things are happening right now, and how fast things are happening right now, I think we're all in for a shock. You know, I think we're all in for a great shock, by the end of this year. And I think, our levels of unification is going to have to, step up. I think we're going to have to step up our levels of unification. I think we're going to have to step up, our ability to work with each other. I think we're definitely going to have to step up our ability to work with each other. Um, and we're going to see how things go. Uh, in retrospect, they're trying to push out the negative. They're trying to get the negative out of there. So we have to, look at that and say, okay, that's good. Uh, but so not everybody's gonna make it. And I guess you can call whatever happened to our page a casualty of war, with the funds getting locked in there and everything like that. I guess we're just gonna have to call it a casualty of war. Uh and like I say, Cash App, PayPal, you can still Cash App, you can still PayPal if you really want to support, if you really, you want to help. You can still Cash App or PayPal. If you were just doing it for the recognition of the super chat, getting your name on the screen, I can respect that too. A lot of people have been on YouTube trying to get recognized, trying to get seen for a long time now. So I understand that. What? These?
And do you have any more of them?
Any more of these?
Yeah.
What happened to the one I gave you?
I bend up this one.
This is the last pack.
Okay. I see this one.
Yeah, so the people that really want to see this and really in for the long haul, we have some great supporters. Like I said, We have people that are not going anywhere in this, and every little bit helps, and for, everybody that, does support, everybody that does, help. Listen, I promise you, it's not being like used for bull crap. You know, we not on here going to buy lottery tickets and black and miles, and you know what I mean? We're not on here doing none of that. So, you know, however you look at this, we are actually putting forth a greater youth to unify. And if we didn't have those negative things put placed on us, I think we'll be a lot further in this journey, in this process. I think we'll be a lot further along the way in all of it if we didn't have, Maggie tearing our image down, on her page for weeks at a time, with the Murphs and, the Cleos, all of that shit. Like those people ain't, helping us get those numbers back that they took, even with that Sherelle World shit with the knot, all of that. We was on the verge of monetization and it's just a bunch of bull crap, right? And it's just people who are determined not to allow other people to make it, not to see other people make it. you know it's crazy because these same people will be the same ones that are crying about how it's unfair to them, and how hard their people got to work and so on and so forth, right? But then if you think about it, if you're the one that's making it harder for your people, then it ain't you know what I mean? It ain't what the hell you blaming it on, you know? If you're the one making it harder, yeah, oh yeah, I'm a gatekeeper, I'm gonna do this, but then you the same one crying about how hard your people gotta work and how hard it is for your people and so on and so forth. But you the same one that's saying that you gonna keep your people from making it. You gonna stop your people from making it. Then you lie and say, I try to get along with my people. I try to get along with black people. If you don't cut it out, yeah, not just for recognition, absolutely. Don't give for recognition. Like if you donate to this, if you donate to this collective, if you donate to this, you know, Uh, if you donate to this, donate out the kindness of your heart. I promise you. Donate out the kindness of your heart. Um, so like right now, there's a lot of things that are coming to light. There's a lot of things coming to light right now. There's a lot. I mean, we like you might as well say like every day we gonna wake up and something new is gonna be happening, something great. Like so tomorrow we might wake up and something crazy. What's today? Sunday? Oh yeah, tomorrow Monday. I guess we get to find out the liberations. What's taking place with this whole Diddy thing. And listen, I don't want y'all to be shocked. I don't want y'all to be shocked. If this progress, if they say they didn't have enough or lack of, whatever the case, like listen, don't y'all be shocked. Don't y'all try to make it seem like there's a scene. Don't be shocked. All right. Just don't be shocked, you know? Uh but however you look at this, greater things are happening for and around the collective. We are a part of that collective, so greater things are happening for us for sure, and around us for sure. So that's beautiful. I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm glad we're here for it. I'm glad that this is the best time to be in, and I'm just happy we're here for it. No, slow and steady wins the race. I know everybody is not going to uh, you know, I know everybody is not going to want to be a part of this. I know everybody is not going to think that this is what it is, and that's okay. You got some people who sees the movement, they see the motion, they see what's going on, and they're probably going to try to, you know, manipulate for whatever reason they feel like they need to manipulate, pretend for whatever reason they feel like they need to pretend. Um, and that's okay. That's okay. I strongly believe that uh the universe has a way of working things out, A lot of jealousy, a lot of jealousy. I think the universe has a way of working things out. Um, when we been telling people, that there's enough room, there's enough space for everybody. We've been telling people there's enough space for everybody, you know, and everything like that. So, uh, however you want to look at this, um, greater things are happening. We're a part of it. We see the change. We see it happening. And, that's to me, that's beautiful. Uh, to me, that's beautiful. So I'm okay with that. I'm with it. They can sit there and try to do it to, whatever. They can cloud chase. Don't forget, we did clear off the energy of Atlas page. It is now Atlas Family Studios. So the Energy of Atlas page is now Atlas Family Studios. And if you got anything that you want to produce, cartoons, whatever it is, post it in the Discord so we can get it onto the page, so on and so forth. That is now you guys' page, Atlas Family, Sister Wives, everybody. That is our page. We cleared it off. We deleted everything on there. So we took everything off of there. There's nothing else on there. No, we didn't post nothing on there. We're not going live from there or nothing. And then we'll also find something to do with the other page too. Uh, so that way we can have something different on all the pages. And look, we still got the music out right now. Um, so yeah, we just doing better things, you know. We just doing better things. And that's the reality of it. Like uh we see what they're doing, and that's okay. Controversy sells, and let them have that. Let them have the controversy that's selling. Let them have that. That's not for us. We don't want that type of collective. That's not going to be a good collective. uh so I think that's a trap, because it's going to keep you in that, negative collective. And you're going to have to keep on doing the negative to please that collective, you know? So if they built their page off of, controversial bullshit, bickering and beefing with each other, then they're going to have to keep on beefing with each other. They're going to have to keep on doing it, you know? It's not going to stop. They're going to have to keep on doing it, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy at that point. It's just crazy. So we opt out. We opt out, uh, and we don't want it. Uh, we don't want it. We don't want it. Y'all can keep it. That seems to fit y'all. That negativity. Uh, that low vibration seems to fit you guys. So you guys can keep it. You guys can keep it. We see that you guys like it. We see that that's what, and y'all can have it. Y'all doing a great job with it over there, for the platforms that is using it. Controversy. Y'all doing a great job with it. You know what I mean? Y'all doing a great job. Y'all don't need our help. And that's the reality of it. Y'all don't need our help. Y'all doing a great job already. And we just gonna stay the hell about y'all way. That's what we gonna do. We're gonna try our best to stay about y'all way. Now we can't help uh, you know, what already took place in the past and the interactions that we already had with one another. We can't help that. So we're gonna leave that part alone. But for the most part, it is what it is. It is what it is. A lot of y'all got bullshit with y'all, and we good on that. We good on the bullshit. We don't want it. We just don't want it. And kudos for y'all. Kudos for y'all for building y'all pages like that. Just remember, you're gonna have to continue doing it. You're going to have to continue doing it. You're gonna have to continue doing that negative. And that's okay. Keep up the great work. But yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all go check the album out, Spotify, on different pages. It's out now. You guys make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you hit the Cash App, the PayPal, stuff like that. We're going to be back tomorrow morning. If ain't nobody tell you that they love you, let me be the first but not the last to say that I love you.
To swallow, but these rules we need to follow. Omission still allow you be in trouble if you don't comply. What about freedom? God-given freedom. I'm talking about freedom. Freedom from Babylon. Murder, you killed him. Great for sexual assault. Murder. Oh yes, you killed him, but I'm gagged and it ain't my fault. Emojis, all these signs we babble, 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 babble on. It's like freedom is babble gone. It's all about freedom. God-given freedom. I'm talking about freedom. Freedom from Babylon. Sexual assault. I want to say murder. Oh yes, you killed him, but I'm gagged and it ain't my fault. Murder, you killed him. Rape for sexual assault. I want to say murder. Oh yes, you killed him, but I'm gagged and it ain't my fault.